Good morning. Time for some Monday updates. So I don't know about you guys, and you can let me know below, but I have been really enjoying doing these updates for you and letting you know kind of like what has been going on and what I've been working with people on in my accelerator program, and sharing tips to help you guys get going with your business because I know that there are a lot of people here who are really serious about it, but there are just like a few things that we're running into where, it's causing us like frustration and feeling like we're stuck. So, like one of the things that's been coming up for my clients recently in the past week or so is, where do I find patients? How do I get the word out about what I'm doing so that people start coming to me? And one of the simplest things that you can do, even though it sounds like almost like too simple, too good to be true, is talking to as many people as you possibly can. When you're first getting started, and your caseload is, it seems like, somewhere between like 5 and 10 patients is, like when you go from 0 to like 10 patients, this is when like a lot of hustle needs to happen. Because once you start bringing people on caseload, more and more people start to show interest in what you're doing, and you don't have to work necessarily as hard doing a lot of like the legwork, and going to meetings, meeting up with new people and everything. But for you who is watching this, if you are somebody who is struggling to find your first few patients, or you have like one, two, three people that you've been seeing and you can't get past that, this is what I highly suggest you do. So today, like the update is what are we going to do to get the word out, because like that's something that I hear a lot of people talking about, is, I want to get my name out there. I want to get the word out about my practice. I want people to know about me, but I don't know how. I don't know how to do that. And so that is what I'm going to walk you through today, is my first 3 steps that I would say you need to take in order to get yourself on this track where, you were just moving and cruising along, you were meeting lots of people, telling lots of people about you, and the patients start to come. And that's what I've been working on with people the past couple of weeks. So here we go. So top 3 tips for finding your ideal clients, both online and in the community. So number one tip that, I feel like this is a barrier, and we'll do another video on this, but the number one thing that you need to do is figure out who your ideal client actually is. This is, I'm going to keep repeating it because it is so imperative that you figure this out, because it will fast track your marketing and like your efforts in building your caseload. Everybody says it, find a niche, figure out who your ideal client is, who your ideal audience is. But I feel like sometimes, some of us don't really take it to heart until, we've just tried and tried and tried to, market to everyone under the sun. Then we finally realize like, oh, maybe there's something to this. And so, it might sound kind of preachy and kind of like my soapbox, but you need to figure out who this ideal client is, who your target market is, in as much detail as you can, because that will inform where you start marketing and where you put your efforts into finding your clients. So to kind of review this piece, finding your ideal client, who is it, defining it, you need to figure out what like age range of person, what gender you want to work with, whether this person has a job or not, whether this person has kids or not, whether this person is married or in a relationship or not, whether this person is active or not. I think a lot of us here want to work with people who are either athletes or like getting into exercise. Like a lot of us want to protect people and help people with physical health. So that is huge. Does your ideal client know what they're doing in a gym or not? That is going to be really, really helpful, because, if your ideal client is somebody who has never exercised before, you probably shouldn't go market at a gym. like a CrossFit gym, for example. You need to look for other avenues where your ideal clients are going to be. So those are just a few things to think about. But like, who is this person that you want to work with? It is going to be, for example, stay-at-home moms between the ages of 30 and 40 who have never exercised before, but they want to start an exercise program that they can, work out with their kids, work out with their partner. And it needs to be something that fits into their lifestyle. That's just an example of, something off the top of my head, but something specific like that. And maybe she has back pain, and that's the biggest thing. But I feel like over and over and over again, I am talking to more and more therapists who, of course, we want to help everybody that we possibly can, because we're all like really caring individuals. But if our target audience is people from the age of 0 to 99 who have, neck, shoulder, back, knee, hip, ankle, foot pain, beginners in exercise or activity, professional athletes, parents, non-parents, grandparents, kids, college students, and we're just trying to like span the entire map of what we could potentially help people with. It is going to be really, really, really difficult to create a specific marketing message so that people know what it is that you do. And like I said, this is a whole other video, but I think this is one of the biggest things that people are struggling with right now is having the confidence to niche down. And if you're struggling on what to do with this, I'll definitely make another video about it. So if you want more information on that, just comment niche below. But I have a quick snippet video in the units tab of this group about that. And my biggest thing that I suggest to people who are struggling with this is who do you like to work with? For me, I like to help 30 and 40-year-olds with like barbell lifting technique. That's something I really enjoy doing. And so if I were to start advertising my services as a therapist and a movement professional, that's where I would start because that's what I really like doing. And the reason that I tell people to start with their niche, like with what they like to do, is because you're building a business that you're hoping to serve yourself with, and it should be something that you enjoy. You're not leaving traditional healthcare to go into another job that you also don't like doing. So just keep that in mind. So something that is people you like to work with, something that you like to do. I know that sounds super simple, but I would definitely, like, if you're struggling with niching down, think about what you really like to do, and just go from there. So whole video, going back to step number 1, is who is our ideal client? And then number 2, where are these people? So like I mentioned before, depending on who your ideal client is, that will inform where you start looking for them, and then the efforts you put into reaching out to them. So, are your ideal clients online? Are they people that use social media? Are they people who don't use social media? Are they people who are active in their community locally, so in person, or are they people who are active in their community online? So those are really important questions to ask yourself, because if your ideal audience only really likes to, engage with people in person at a community center, you could put like all day, every day effort into social media, but if they're never on social media, they're never going to see your stuff. And so you just end up screaming into an abyss and, and then getting really frustrated and really upset that your efforts are not yielding any patients. So that's something that's really important to consider, is where are these people? And vice versa. If there are people who are always on social media, but, you're just putting up flyers in a community center, they're never going to know that you're there because they're looking for their content and their services on the internet. So just something simple to consider with that. And so those are like the two first steps that we need to take. So who is our ideal client? Where are they? That's going to inform what you do next, which is outreach. Outreach networking. So networking with other professionals who have access to your ideal audience and reaching out to people who fit your ideal audience and letting them know that you're there and that you're willing to help, and that you have services that might be able to help fix the problems that they're having. So I wanted to go through some different areas to reach out to people because I think that that's sometimes what we struggle with too, is, like, yes, I know that I'm supposed to network. I know I'm supposed to reach out to people, but like, where do I do it? I know for me, when I'm given like really specific instructions or like a checklist of things, then I will get to work. I will get right on it. But if I don't have those specific like ideas and instructions, it's really hard for me to get started sometimes. And so like, that's kind of the feeling that I've gotten from some of you guys in the group too, is that we're all like, we're looking for exact instructions on how to do this. So let's talk about different ways that we can network and reach out to people. So right here on Facebook, here's one thing. This is a Facebook group right here. We're all a bunch of people who want to start our therapy practices. So, this is a group of very like-minded people. If your ideal client is a new mom who wants to get back to running, we're going to look for a Facebook group that targets new moms who want to get back to running. We're going to join that community and engage with that community because it's filled with people who fit your ideal audience. It's like joining a club. So just something really simple like that. So if your ideal audience is on Facebook, Facebook groups are invaluable as far as reaching people who could be potential clients or just people who might point you in the direction of other people that you might be able to help. So Facebook groups, number one. And speaking of clubs, if you are wanting to work with soccer players, for example, and you belong to a local soccer team, or you're one of the parents and your kids are on a local soccer team, we're going to reach out to the parents of the other kids on the soccer team. We're going to reach out to the coaches of the soccer teams. We're going to reach out to other teams, not just our team, but reach out to other teams. We're going to reach out to teams in the neighboring towns, if it's not too far of a drive for you. But, if our soccer players are our people, where do soccer players go? Who do they interact with? And that's who we're going to reach out to. So that's an example, clubs and teams in person. And some of them might even have Facebook groups online. Like I know a lot of CrossFit gyms have their own Facebook groups. So that's something that you could always look into. I think that Andrew Tran might have more information on this because he is the Instagram guy, but potentially looking at Instagram hashtags. So looking for a certain hashtag, and then all of the posts that come up are people who could potentially fit your audience. And so we're going to reach out to people there. Some people, like my friend Ali Marty, belongs to a group called BNI, which is an international business networking group. And that can be really, really helpful. I know that's one of the main things that she has done to help grow her business. And so she, every single week, is in front of a huge group of like 50 people, where she can explain what it is that her business does and also ask for people to refer potential clients to her. So looking for networking groups locally would also be a really good avenue to go down. So whether it's BNI or it's a networking group that has been organized by a third party locally, or you could look for networking groups here on Facebook, or potentially LinkedIn. Maybe I'm not super familiar with LinkedIn, but that's something that you can look for on there, or just other websites. I would go on Google and type in, like I'm looking for a networking group, and see what comes up with that. And then the last thing, last couple of things here that I wanted to talk about as well. I mentioned community centers before. So, you might think if your audience is, older adults, potentially. They might be people who go to your local YMCA. They might go to older adult fitness classes at a community center. So that reaching out to the community center, putting up flyers, reaching out to their events coordinator to see if you can put a workshop on for the people in the community center, that would be a great opportunity. And then the last one that was suggested to me as well, I wanted to share this with you guys. Let me share my screen here. Is a chamber of commerce. So a lot of towns, if not every town, might have this chamber of commerce. And, some of you guys, I hadn't really heard of this before. So I went ahead and asked the dumb question is, what is a chamber of commerce? To share this with you guys. And, just to kind of give like a quick description, the goal of any chamber of commerce is to help further the interests of small businesses in a local area. And the activities can range from hosting events to lobbying local representatives to charitable works for the betterment of the community. So it's a bunch of people who are either interested in helping small business owners or are small business owners themselves. And they're creating opportunities for you to network with other people that are locally in your area. So this could be great if you're doing a mobile practice, and not doing so much online, and you need to get in front of people who are in your local community. So this was the first time I looked at this website was this morning. But, it looks like to me that they have a lot of information on here about like what it is and what you can look for. So, just looking at the membership benefits here, they have advertising tools and business development programs. So this, I think, like I've said this before, like the state and city websites can be super helpful for a small business. And like there's things that I think that we don't even think about that often. But you can check out your city's website and just look for the business tab and see what they have available, or go to the Chamber of Commerce and you can see here that they have, different seminars to help you with your business. My city has a business resource center. And then the other thing that I saw on here when I was looking at events is they have like speed networking. So like you can go speed dating with other small business owners in your area and get to know people to help support local business, have people refer patients to you. And that's just something that you could get really involved in. And then the other thing I was going to bring up is just like, looking at my City of Henderson website, going to the business tab and seeing what they have available. But I would definitely check out, and see if you have a chamber of commerce locally, and see what kind of membership they have, what kind of events they have, and see what you can get involved with. So like those are just a few of the ideas on how to reach out to audiences, either professional connections that have they already have a connection with your ideal audience, they already have access to them, or reaching out to potential clients, so directly to the people that you would be working with. And I hope that's helpful. Liz, like I said before, we were taught like, oh, you need to like get out there and network. You need to reach out to your audience. But, number one, if you don't know who your audience is, it's hard to reach them because you don't know where they are. And like I said, you need to figure out where your ideal clients really hang out so that when you show up and you start talking about what it is that you do, it doesn't fall on deaf ears. It reaches people who actually are looking to find a solution to their problems. They're looking to find somebody just like you. So you need to be really cognizant about like where your audience actually is. And then these are a bunch of options for where to reach out to people. And then the like last question that I get asked about this, so this is like a bonus tip, is how do I reach out to people? What do I do? What do I say? And I think that we overthink that a lot, but I would definitely have like, your really, really simple, like I help statement, like put together. So, like if I said something, as like a PT, it'd probably be along the lines of, I help CrossFit athletes with shoulder pain get back to working out pain-free. Something really easy. And I just watched a seminar about this over the weekend, but it needs to be so simple that a 5-year-old can understand what it is that you do. I think that sometimes we get really caught up in like our titles, our degrees, our education, but when it comes down to it, it doesn't really matter. As long as you can help somebody and get them the results that you're saying you can get them, that's what people are looking for. So have a really clear I help statement so that when you do go to these networking opportunities or you do reach out to potential clients, you can explain what it is that you do. But I help statement, really, really helpful. And then the other thing is, basically you're going to look for contact information. So phone number, email address, and your message is just going to be, hey, I'm Morgan. I help therapists start cash-based practices who have never had any experience in business before. And I help them get to a full caseload so that they can have the life of their dreams. But something like that. So just, hi, I'm Morgan Meese. This is what I do. Use your own name. Don't use my name. I am reaching out to other professionals in the area or other professionals in XYZ specific audience to get to know them and see how we can support each other. Leading with the attitude of positivity and abundance is only going to continue to serve you, and help all of the people that we are trying to help by doing this. So, hi, my name is, this is what I do. I'm just reaching out to see if we can support each other. If that's something you'd be interested in talking about, I'd love to set aside some time where we can talk on the phone, talk on Zoom, and get to know each other. And I also like to look at it as, you're just making friends, making friends with other people who share a same vision as you for, being self-employed, running your own business, and serving a population that needs help. And that's all you really have to do. Some people are not going to respond. Some people are going to say no. A lot of people are going to say yes. I would love to talk to you. So as long as you're doing this, you are reaching out to, people who fit your ideal audience, people who have access to your ideal audience, and you are continuing to do that consistently, you are going to get results. You are going to start to have people coming to you, and your caseload is going to be full before you know it. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you guys want more help with finding your niche. I know that lots of people really want help with sales, so I am in the process of setting up a sales webinar. And yeah, that's the updates from the past couple of weeks. And we will continue to work together to get our message out there and help serve our communities. So let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a good day.